This is True Powers Mine, and this is TPIM SR Live. Today, I want to give you guys a gift. Received an email the other night. It was from a viewer, a listener, and they want me to expound on something I talked about in the past show. 4 special words. I believe they are from ancient times, and they do have immense power when spoken correctly. Perhaps it's the vibrations, but I implore you, if right now you're having a hard time in life, wherever you're at, all I ask is for you to do 2 things. 1, try to open up your mind as humanly possible, to the best of your ability. Everyone's different. And 2, speak this word, Tam Mujama. Tam Mujama. You wait and you allow those vibrations to go out into the universe. You don't have your mind set on anything. It's not about money. It's not about glory. It's not about women. It's not about power. It's about recalibrating your mind back to point 1, not 0, 1. After you say that word, the next word would be Salam Alalam. Then, now is the time to start focusing on what it is you are perceiving to be wrong. The next word is Asmantut. With that word, you are enriching the pool. You're pulling energy and you're putting it into this thing that will ultimately be, I guess, the vessel or container of the power. Because what we're dealing with, whenever you're feeling bad, whenever you're feeling good, energy is either coming to you or energy is either being extracted from you. And then the final word, and this will be the one that closes the circuit or completes it all. Izil Salak. Izil Salak is the final one. And after that's completed, get up and let's get going. Come on with me, y'all. Let's do this thing today. Now, I want to kind of start off the show a little different. I want to jump over here real quick. Playlists. I got so many playlists, it's not even funny. Hold on. I want to play this song, man. I was listening to it this morning while I was meditating. Yes, I listen to music while I meditate. And
go to mycleanpc.com and get a free computer diagnosis.
It just hit me right. And YouTube, I give myself, this is my video.
Mama America. Africa is grandma now. Mama, mommy, we need your milk of understanding while we learn to understand ourselves. We need your unconditional love and the magic mercy of your maternal instinct. Let us shout with joy as we pass through your gate and kiss the ground where you gave us birth and breath Mama America, Mama America, show us your freedom mountain. Help us climb the stair. Guide us along your guided path that leads to our transcendence. Mother, we will be good children.
Yes, Mother.
Proud sons and daughters. Just let us rest and grow close, so close upon your breast. Man.
That was beautiful. That was beautiful. I love that. I love that. Well, the video was awesome, but that was brother Phil Pompey Fixico, better known as Daddy Fixico, Bubba Fixico, Maroon Warrior, a true freedom fighter, and someone I'm very much happy, very much pleased to call my brother. You see, folks, in this life, we have to remember everything's backwards, everything's debased, everything is wrong, everything is incorrect. And when I say everything, I quite literally mean everything. A lot of you guys are tied into the religious systems that are nothing more than basically scripts for enslavement, both physical and mental. We have a situation where people who are controlling the world, who have power to actually affect the world in a positive way, choose to destroy it and rape it of its resources just to make a momentary gadget that's just going to end up turning back to dust anyhow. Instead of keeping the system to where it's rejuvenant, it's full of life, it's full of energy, they take that away and replace it with this artificial, whether it's GMO or this straight up some of the Chinese products where it's just straight plastic. I mean, if you think about it for 1 second, what is the purpose of a GMO cow when we have cows that can actually reproduce fine? What's the purpose of GMO vegetation when we have vegetation that can be pollinated and reproduce seed just fine? The purpose, my friends, is to destroy the natural biosphere, replace it with an artificial one in which you have to pay talismans or money to survive in because you have no free natural recourse. And let me get this notion out there too. You know how everyone always says, oh, there's nothing free? That's a lie. That's part of the debasing of everything. Once upon a time, everything was free. Everything from your air to your food to your clothing. Now, one could argue, well, you still had to go out and actually get the water, go out and actually kill the animal, or go out and actually grow the crops, go out to actually build your little structure out of stone, sticks, twigs, whatever. What's up, Bird? I'm glad you're back. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Your energy is absolutely needed. We have to realize who we truly are. We have to understand the immense power in our psyche, in our spirit. It's not so much the gun. Now, and you guys know me. You long-time listeners, you know me. You know I'm not some flippant weirdo pipsqueak out here. You know I got, things. I do, I go out and do target practice, sword drills, the whole thing. But I'm telling you all right now, brothers and sisters, that in itself is not my strength. My true strength is my spiritual prowess, my spiritual attunement. That's the real strength. And perhaps one day I can get so strong to where these little artificial man-made tools won't even be necessary for either defense or attack. As we understand, we are a power plant. We are a nuclear combustion engine factory, if you want to say, as far as energy is concerned. The only thing that holds that back is us. We restrain ourselves in like a psychological and emotional straitjacket. And we wiggle and we squirm in our own misery. I'm asking, brothers and sisters, break free of that and unite our spiritual energy. What's up, Brother Murders? Welcome to the show. This is going to be one to write down. We can write this one to Mama in a letter. There's going to be high energy. There's going to be a lot of solutions. And you know what? Now, you all know that I've talked to academics and we've dwelled on the past and we know about this fact and that fact. Well, today we're throwing that all in the biggity bag. Don't got no time for no past. I'm talking about the present and the future. I'm talking about the energy that you have with you today. And we're going to harness this thing and we're going to make this machine, this spiritual machine, that's going to work in our benefit today, not tomorrow. Certainly didn't do it yesterday. Using the secret words, getting all on one accord. If 1 million people say Tamu Jama at the same time, the repercussions of that will be unmeasurable. Now that the words are out there, we will notice an increase in things to come. The beautiful thing about this is that we always have had this power. We have been led down the wrong road, shrouded in smoke and mystery. So we lost tune with the one true weapon that could be our liberation device. We gave it up. We exchanged it for a system. What's up, Sister Janice? Welcome to the show. I'm glad you woke up and I'm glad you made it here. Your energy is absolutely needed. You see, it always starts off as a whisper, but then you get more listeners. And then it starts growing. And we're going to continue to grow. H. Lecturer 426. Welcome to the show, brother. Your energy is absolutely needed. We are always at the cuffs of destruction from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep. There's many of hurdles and pitfalls out there, but look how many times you did the cycle. You wake up, you go to sleep. Excuse me. The point is your spirit, the spirit, not the body. I'm not interested in your body. I'm only interested in your spirit. That spirit, which I'm talking to and trying to commune with right now, before you woke up, you were traveling. You know, everyone talks about those people who can astral project. JB, welcome to the show, brother. What we can project. Everyone does it. JB, depending on where you're at in the world, when you were sleeping, before you woke up this last cycle, your spirit was traveling places. Now, you might not recall this in your memory, conscious memory, and able to articulate it to other brothers and sisters. But I'm telling you, you was astroplaning. So was you, Dot, Janice, Murder, Bird, all of you. It's time for us to focus our intuitive, natural energies together and project it into the universe. This is such an exciting time. Why? Because either we get it right now or it's over. It's straight up over. Now, true enough, it's never really, really over. Life is really the true comic book in that sense. Look around, kiddos, and see the magical world in which you live. You're like, true, there ain't no magic. That's make believe. In a sense that the system has handed to us, yes, pulling rabbits out of the hat, levitating, all that for the most part, and I use the words for the most part, is fakery. But the magic of a piece of dirt being able to be manufactured in a way to where it develops different tissues and it's able to harness different elements such as air and fire. Brother Murder, if you would please, could you please place one hand against your neck and ask me if you do not feel heat coming from your neck? Or tell me if you do not feel heat coming from your neck. There's fire inside of you, brother. Sister Janice, if you could possibly indulge me, could you just inhale a big breath of air and then blow it out? Sister, you just controlled wind. Now, I'm not going to ask anyone to disrespect their area by spitting or bleeding, but that's the possession of water. And you don't forget, when you wake up in the morning, you go in the bathroom, you do a couple things, you're basically making dirt. And then you flush the toilet. Number 2. So, not to be so gross and all that, I don't want to gross nobody out, but that is what is so magical. You really look at what you are. You really look at the physical body you're possessing and all the different resources that's within. Brothers and sisters, there's no reason why you ever should feel fear. You should ever feel sad or alone. You have your ancestors, you have your friends now, and you have your children to come, grandchildren as well. Brother Kenneth, welcome to the show. Glad you woke up, made it here safely, logged on. Now, either we accept these gifts, accept our power, accept this awakening. If not, I'm sure you're all aware of what's going on now. Right now as we speak. There are people who are just as aware of what we were just discussing just now, the spirituality, the spiritual power that we as human beings possess. But until we develop our minds and our spirits and our bodies, we can never fully use these gifts. Now, this is from Bird. 350 million people in America. How many are really living the American dream? Maybe 2 million? Why don't you try 48,000 or so? Now, there might be 2 million as far as the gatekeepers and the goons and the servants of those like 48,000 folks that actually have the true dream. But the most of us are living a nightmare, but pretending we're just napping. It's truly a nightmare, but if I ask you, no, brother, true, I'm just napping. I'm just napping. But you're really living a nightmare. And the reason why you're living a nightmare is because you're living a lie. You're living a lie that was perpetrated to you by the system in which you find yourself dwelling in. Who says that American dream is the dream some of us want to live? Booyah! H. Lecturer 426. Just put it out there like that. Just put it out there like that. You see, in order to truly live the American dream, you have to have an American scream, meaning you have to have someone to exploit. There has to be somebody engaging and participating, whether willingly or unwillingly, in the economic unequal distribution, meaning some people get all of it and some people get very little. We have to, and this is from Chatter Bird, we have to look beyond the big lies and false statistics. Right. Listen, this is what I'm telling you. I've been telling you this all this time. Free your mind. How the hell are you going to do some damn research? I've been researching the academic and by motherfuckers putting this shit together that hate your fucking guts. So that's like me, let's just flip this strip so everybody can understand in modern terms. That's like me being a Jewish guy, but only reading SS documents and trying to get a sense of what it means to be a so-called Jew. Reading Nazi SS documents and statistical facts, oh, well, a Jew's arm can be broken 16 times before it gets, totally messed up. And I'm using all that garbage to try to understand and identify who the hell I am. You wonder why you're fucked up now? We got to get past that. Literally, excuse the pun. We got to get past the past. No matter what you've been through, what you came through, and what you're going through, you are here now. That in itself is a testament to your power. All I ask you, brothers and sisters, open up the governor on that. Release your energy. Release your spiritual power. Focus it on me. And then we will turn the key together and open the door to the future and walk through. It is time, folks. No more of this pretending. No more of the system. The system. Nothing more than a construct conjured up by a wicked soul to facilitate ease and pleasure in his life and amplify desperation and fear in your life. So stay with the system if you want it. Some of you guys are actually addicted to the pain. I understand. I know. I've talked to many. You'd be lost if you woke up without the fear. Oh my God. Oh my God. You'd be lost if you woke up without the anger. But I'm sincerely saying, if you continue on the path of fear and anger, you're going to be lost into yourself. And you'll more than likely end up in oblivion. Basically where your consciousness is just shattered. America as a whole is in denial. Those of us who are on the shitty side of the stick, absolutely. Bird. Those who are not on that side of the stick, they're not in denial. I think some of them actually believe they're doing us a favor by not rubbing it in our faces collectively, just how well off they are. Do not forget this universal tenet when dealing with resources in particular. If I have a huge supply of whatever, ping pong balls, dollar bills, rubies, gold, diamonds, whatever, by default, others must have none because I literally have all the tangible, physical pieces of whatever we're dealing with in my possession. So ultimately, what I'm trying to tell you all is that if we don't want to see a world filled with sorrow, filled, filled to the brim with worthless souls. And what I mean by worthless souls, I want to be totally crystal clear on this. Souls that has no love or appreciation for a state of being. In other words, there's people who kill themselves physically. We call it suicide. It happens all the time. But there's other people that kill themselves spiritually. There's not even a real word for it, but it's there. I don't want to see any more of my brothers and sisters committing spiritual suicide by believing false doctrines, by reciting worthless, useless utterings, by not understanding universal concepts of prayer, universal concepts of thinking. In order to think, you must first lay down perimeters. What are we thinking about? Just can't think about everything and or nothing. And then after you get the thought down, what you're trying to think about, then you have to engage it. Meaning, let's just use a hypothetical. We were thinking about being, let's say, building a new jet airplane. Man, give some. Brother Judah, welcome to the show. And Brother T. Will, welcome back to the show. Glad you both woke up and was able to make it in here. Now back into the energy thing. I'll get back to what I was just talking about, but I want to go right into the energy thing. If 1 plus 1 equals 2, but let's say spiritually, 1 plus 1 equals 1. Physically, if I had 2 apples, all right, add them together, obviously that's 2 apples. 1 plus 1, 2 apples. But in terms of thought and spirituality, emotions, I have happiness, I have pleasure. Happiness plus pleasure equals 1 good time. 1 plus 1 equals 1. Now that we got that base down, let's take it a further. Misery and plus ignorance equals slavery. 1 plus 1 equals 1. When we're dealing with spiritual and I guess non-tangible things that we can't touch, taste, see, smell, whatever. Once we get to that point of being again, once we get to the point where we can think things out without referring to someone's book, documentary, video. Because we have to get to a place, friends, to where we're honest with ourselves, to where we're sincere with ourselves. You all know that the Titanic has always been on this earth. Quite literally, before it was built, during its brief service, and now in its watery grave. Brother Will, a lot of people in the slave mind state are happy. Well, I can't deny that, brother. What you say is true. How do we know? How do we know? The only way we can know is by viewing them and observing them. And you see people dancing, brother, I'm having a good time. Don't know how I'm going to live tomorrow. You're a fucking wage slave. And most people don't realize what wage slavery is, but that's what you are. Drinking, smoking, fornicating, lying, murdering, killing. Can't save everyone. Isn't that the truth? You can't save anyone if you yourself are not saved. And then we have to really determine what type of saving are we talking about. Talking about the white Jesus kind of saving? Are we talking about Department 45, rescue from a burning building kind of saving? Or are we just talking about keeping them talismans in a bank kind of saving? I mean dollars, monetary, fiat currency. If we do not train our minds, got to save yourself first. And that in itself, H. Dot, lies the problem. No one can save oneself from death. We all know that's a foregone conclusion. And the only way to save yourself from a beast that's at your heel is to either run up a tree and pray that the beast can't climb, jump into the water, pray the beast can't swim, or keep running and pray your legs don't give out. Or the most effective, in my opinion, but hardly utilized method, you turn and you fight that fucking beast and you fucking kill it and you eat it. Spiritually speaking, meaning you consume its power and it becomes a part of your greater power. You know, I'm not saying literally. And this is where we have to try to go to. It's very simple and very easy for us. Seriously, H. Dot, lecturer. I'm sitting here trying to talk about totally freeing us all. But it would be so easy for me, lecturer, to be like, no, y'all just need to go to college. You get yourself an education. Then you go out in the workforce with your new bootstraps and you get a job and you stay there until you retire. Then you go to the nursing home like a good little slave so you're not inconveniencing those around you. Then you peace out in a shitty bed with bed sores with no one around. Now, that's the reality for many of our brothers and sisters right now. Oh, we can say they have this or that, but you know, that's the reality. I'm saying in order to save yourself, you're going to have to restructure your mind. And we have to come out of this. Brother Will, if you talk like that, we would have a couple hundred people in the live. And Brother Leonard, Just put on your bootstraps. He lamb to the slaughter. Yes, absolutely. Don't forget, you're bootstrapping, all right, brothers and sisters? You're bootstrapping to debase the fucking planet. Damn near every job in all these stupid little systems or nations on this planet are only motivating a desire to exploit the resources of the planet, meaning pull out ore, put ore into fire, manufacture ore into product, meaning cut down tree, put tree in a saw, take those pieces of wood and manufacture product. It's all designed to debase and destroy the earth. True bird. Human being is not supposed to be so difficult. Like Dick Gregory, we violate the universe on a daily basis, bird. On a daily basis, and they would call you wrong for pointing that out to them. That's how deep this thing is. That's how far we're in this. But as long as we can put on those ducktail suits, those fancy shoes, smell good cologne or perfume, and go out on the town with our heads up high, walking over destitute brothers and sisters and children, get to where we think we need to get to do more violation of the universe by shaking your tail up there, entice some people, and not really having no true spiritual bond to want to bring in new life. People, if you don't stop violating your bodies sexually, then I don't know what to tell you at this point. Sister Barbara Williams, welcome to the show. I'm glad you made it. I'm glad you woke up today. Most folks don't even have a pair of boots to strap on. Amen to that, sister. You see how once we start opening up our minds, you can see the trap that the system has laid for you. Name me one good thing, just one good thing, spiritually, this system has produced. Just one. Feel like it's Jeopardy. Dun 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 dun. Thank you. What is nothing? Sister Barbara, number one answer. The reason why it's nothing is because when the system views you as nothing, 1 plus 1 equals 1 again, nothing can be the only outcome to that. What is half of nothing? Still nothing. Same thing as what is half of anger? What is half of fear? What is half of hatred? All this stuff is designed. All this stuff is designed, Sister Barbara, to keep you from realizing the potentiality and the true power of you, and to think about how can I belittle and berate myself to get some bootstrap job so I can put some GMO food on the table. And hopefully make enough money so I can get some health care so when those GMO food mess up my gut, I can go and get some medication to fix that. And then hopefully, if you're truly pious, you have a life insurance policy. So after that medication does its thing and your ass pieces out and die, we can take your body and put it in a box like old Chicken McNugget and bury it down there in the ground. From cradle to birth, if you play the game of the system, you are guaranteed to end up with nothing. And you will die with a lot of hate, anger, and bitterness in your heart. You best believe. The only way to free yourself is to vibrate back into stage one. Once you're there, then you can build upon that. But many of us are not there. Sister Barbara, we will take nothing for 1,000. Brother Cobra, CI's in the house, y'all. Brother Immortal is in the house. You know, had a great conversation with Brother Cobra last night. Came down to the Ponderosa here. It's out there on the back deck, Studio B. Put together a little show. But once again, the powers of YouTube, it's all choppy. It's like they were mixing that shit up as we were doing it. It's still a cool video because it's like some of the key points, it was duplicated, but I recognize, we got to see that for what it is. Bird, China and their allies are getting ready to go on a shopping spree in the Listen, now, this America, United States of America, it has the way thing is created is often the way a thing is ended. At this point in the game, with all the information out, you would almost have to be naive to the point of lunacy to not recognize that this nation was founded for white folks, by white folks, to benefit white folks. And I'm talking about the legal status of white and the legal status of black. That's how you get some of these confused black folks thinking that they're white and they're a part of this thing. They're only a part of this thing until the vast majority of us is exterminated. And then that's when they'll get their club over the head as well. China is not only collecting their debt, China is collecting their data. Their data. You guys, I hope we understand, man. The reason why the kinky-haired, melanated man, woman, and child is so despised by all the nations. I'm going to tell you something that your preacher and your daddy should have told you. It's because we were here for millions of years, been here, and we are still here. And that should leave some credence to the whole evolution bullshit that they're shoved down your throats. If evolution is real, then how come everyone hasn't evolved at the same rate and into the same entity? And don't hit me with, it's the environmental conditions. If you're over there in the middle of China and the sun rises up, you got to squint your eyes. Well, you ain't going to squint your eyes all fucking day long. The sun only comes up for approximately 45 minutes, and after that, it just does its thing. And most people are actually asleep during the sunrise. When's the last time you saw one? Well, if you just go down in the cave and you just don't have no sun, and you'll just get white. Really? So there's no caves in Africa. There's no dark jungles where the sun doesn't even hardly penetrate the bottom of it because the canopy is soaking up all the sun. You see, once your mind becomes clear and you start seeing the world as it truly is, not as people want you to perceive it, then you see these lies and the debasement, and you'll understand that's what's really at stake, Brother T. What's really at stake, CI. What's really at stake, Bird. What's really at stake, Leonard, and all the rest of them, H. Dot, is that if you ever get in touch with your true spiritual power, holy shit, the world is over as we know it. You know, a lot of people don't understand just how powerful of a body you have. Because we've been so dumbed down to the potentiality of this body that we possess. If you're in a normal human body, you have something like, what, 4 or 5 trillion cells. Depending on your age, you have a library of memory and thought that you yourself develop, of course, throughout your life. And depending on your muscle and fat mass, you had the ability to do quite remarkable physical feats. But when I destroy your cell, when I destroy your spirit, when I take away your essence of being, you, for all intents and purposes, you're no longer a human being. You're just an object. You're just a vessel that I can exploit for your labor, perhaps your intellectual capacity, and if you're a female, of course, your sexual attributes. And I do this all consciously knowing that I'm destroying your person. I do this all consciously knowing I'm destroying your future seeds. I do this consciously knowing I am sending you to a lifetime of misery, pain, sorrow. And nobody is going to save you. Rich America can leave the cocaine, opioid, weeds, and alcohol alone. A bunch of wealthy dopes. You got that. And somehow Asians comes to black neighborhoods and control the economy. Well, we'll break it to that. And Barbara, Mark from Anaheim reported today that America is getting ready to open a military base in Poland. They do. The president in Poland said it will be named Fort Trump. Programs for them to do too. We got money, Leonard. If it's drugs, it's money. We, meaning most of the U.S. citizenry, are divided with our particular isms. And we're basically slated for deletion. You know, and I'm not going to say the men at this time in the stage of the game. The corporations that are really running the planet probably realize it's to their advantage to relinquish, what's the word? Oh, hold on. Bam. Thank you for sending it to me, whoever. Regime change. The corporations who are in control of the world today probably realize it's in their fiscal benefit to have a regime change in these United States of America. One that's more open to exploitations of the vital resources we have here. We have too many excuses. It's all the white man's fault. We ain't got no money. Barbara, we don't need money. We have spirit. Now, I know a lot of people are like, what, True? We need fucking money. How the fuck am I going to balance my stock portfolio? I'm saying physically, yes, your body does need money. But your body truly needs a mind that is spiritually in tune and spiritually awoken. You see, money will not cure the cancer in your body. Okay? Money will not settle down your psychological anxiety. Okay? Money will not mend your broken heart. All right? Now, I'm not saying that if you had a vivid imagination and a ton of money, you couldn't do a couple of things to help you out through those situations. But that's just masking the problem. That's not fixing it. If you want a Band-Aid on that boo-boo, yeah, use money. But if you want your boo-boo to get scarred over and heal properly, use spirituality. for free. You see, a lot of us have forgotten the one true rule of the universe. For those who have received gifts, if these gifts are not used, they will be given to another. Where can you go and live off spirituality? Exactly, T. And this goes back to that one question. Nowhere. Where are you going to go where there is no spirituality? It's all around you. It's in you. To some degree, T, you are spirituality. Until you realize this, then the real question is, where can't you go and live off spirituality? Access denied. Brother Leonard, stop. Access denied. Recalibrate. Oh, shit. Materialistic society, that is true. So I'm stuck here and I need money to survive. Okay, let's break it down. Brother T is straight up. Brother T is talking truth and logic based upon the parameters provided to us in this system in which we're dwelling in. I challenge you, though, Brother T. You are stuck here and I need money to survive. I challenge you. Deconstruct that sentence. So now that I am awake here, I need spirit to survive and thrive and prosper. You see, money, once again, is just a band-aid. Let's just say you have a sore throat, and money is just that little 44 Vicks, Vicks 44, whatever. You drank a little bit of that in a cup, coat your throat, but the virus and germs and all that crap is still there. You do know that light can kill viruses. Light has an antiseptic property to it. What do people say when they say, I see light in you? They're talking about your spirit. Your spirit is light. What, Brother T, check this out. Check this out and hear this truth. Last night when you was asleep and your body, your spirit was astroplaning about, did you not see light in your dream? That light didn't come from the sun. That light didn't come from Edison inventing the light bulb. That light came from you, brother. That light was generated in your spirit psyche. That light lights the way for you in darkness, which is sleep. When you was sleeping on your back up underneath the pyramid last night, which is your nose, you traveled all over the place. And you saw with your dream eyes light. This is Sister Barbara. We as people are spiritual at root, but we live amongst devils that dwell in darkness. And more than that, Barbara, not only do they dwell in darkness, but they steal the only light, your spiritual light from you. So now that you can't even see in the darkness that you're shrouded in. Brother T, I got spirit. And I was taught that from birth, from my great grandmother. I hope she's still alive. I hope you still can show her love. I'm not talking about white Jesus either. I'm talking about your colored man being spirit. Deconstruct this sentence. I see yes, Barbara, we've been in trouble. Okay, for one, let's deconstruct this. You can't really be taught spirit. What I'm talking about is not a system of spirituality. It is spirituality. It can be controlled and manipulated by you, but I really can't teach you if it's not in you. The white Jesus is designed to put you into darkness. It's designed to take away your spiritual light and replace it with this artificial construct. That's, by the way, is not coming back. Now, I am talking about HU color man. Wow. Being spirit. HU color man, created of the earth, being, and spirit. Black man spirit. Righteous. I'm following what you're saying because the HU kind of, I didn't know if you were trying to say like hue man and hue being the color, from whatever, and colored man. Because for one, let's get this on track. Most of us are so ignorant when it comes to art and color that we don't realize white and black are not colors. White and black are tones. Gray is a tone as well. The colors are everything in the rainbow. So until you see a human being either as dark as black, as light as white, or one of the colors of the rainbow, what are we talking about? That's how you know that all this is the base. All of it's the base. I'm telling you. The guy and gals that put this bullshit together, the system that we're under, they knew what they were doing, T. They had clarity of cause and purpose. Their purpose was to put you in a state of perpetual ignorance and darkness. Separate you from your spirituality, separate you from your true power, and you are our slave forever. That's what they were thinking. That was motivating them to do what they have done, and this is the ramification of that very act. Every brother and sister that did not wake up today for various reasons was a victim of the system that has been put in place so many times, so many years ago. You get no flack from me on that. We're so focused on, oh, I need your money. Donate to this. Do that. All I ask, open up your spiritual power bank and focus that power bank. And that could be our freedom. I'm not sitting here saying that, listen. You will never hear me say, totally forget where you're at and what is going on around you. Now, don't take what we're talking about here today and run with it in the wrong way. You have to open up your spiritual being, but at the same time, you have to play the game because you're not in a position of power to go against the beast that you are in its system. It's a double-edged sword here that I'm asking you guys to understand and home in. You're a sword, I'm a sword, but we have to sharpen up our edges without being noticed, without being observed. Meaning, yeah, a lot of this stuff that we're talking about, keep it to yourself, Brother T. Don't talk to other people. For one, they don't need to know your spiritual path. And two, most good slaves would tell you to stop. Well, hit me with a refresher on our conversations because, I'm not going to lie. I talked to a lot of people. I probably remember the essence of the conversation. Just start the Civil War and get it over with. What they're scared of, martial law, bring it on. Bird, we're there. We're there. The Civil War is here already. It's been here. Listen, a lot of people think that you're supposed to work shoulder to soldier and it has some drum. And it pop, 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 pop. It don't work like that. Now, as long as we over here fooling around with this nonsense, not being unified as a nation, as a corporation, which I understand why we're not. That was totally a rhetorical question. When it's time to carve up the big fat slab of nation, I hope we all realize at that point in time, or a lot of people will be new to the game. Us black folks, we already know about sorrow and misery, so it will just be another day at the park. Now, the one saving grace, it can actually be to where, believe it or not, as ridiculous as it may seem, what would happen if the people who conquered the United States said, you know what, black folks, here, y'all gonna have this land. You know what? Uh, these people over here better not fuck with you. If they do, you just, here's a cell phone, hit us up. We'll send some drones and troops and protect you. But that in itself will just be playing into keeping you from your spirituality. If we believe that black people once ruled the world, is it safe to believe that we treated whites? Yeah, okay, I remember that. I remember that conversation now. You know, let's go there. Let's go there. What do we really mean, Brother T, by rule the world? Hey, Sister Hunt's in the house. It's been a minute since I seen you around. I'm glad the Most High woke you up and got you in here. That's good. Greeting, family. Trump has us in a state of emergency. He can send the troops in on us at any time. Hey, yes, I love it. She's coming with fire. I love it. She's right. This is why, if you notice, you don't hear me talk crazy about Trump. You don't hear me talk crazy about a lot of those political leaders, because we are in a state of emergencies and your words can and will be used against you. Brother T, this is what I was trying to illustrate as far as knowing where you're at. Even though I'm spiritually awoken and I see a lot of different plays, I understand that if you stand up and try to fight for honor's sakes right now, you're doing exactly what he wants, because he has all the guns and bullets and things to physically put you down, not spiritually no more. Thank God. But physically, he has a lot to hold you in place. So either you attack him that way, or else you play the game and you go about it a different way. They will be underground until the smoke clears. You know it, Bird. And let's get it right. Let's get it right. All those secret bomb shelters, all those bullets and food and water stored up in there. How many homeless people could have been fed from 1955 to 2000 from all the bomb shelter food that they had, just in case we go to war with the Russians at that time? They hoarded all that resources from the poor, from the people, out of fear. This is what I'm trying to get y'all to see, man. This fear ain't about shit. The only thing you truly should fear is never being in contact with your spiritual self, your spirituality. That's the only thing you actually really fear. And many of us don't fear that because we don't believe in it. And that's why we're in the situation you're in. So you keep on praying to your little gods. You keep on praying to your made up gods. Keep on bowing down to statues, doing stupid little hand gestures. Keep on dredging up. Now check this out. I don't care what religion you're talking about. Why is it that humans have been down on this earth for all these years, as we know, or as we are led to believe? I wouldn't say we actually know anything. I say we're led to believe a lot. But all of a sudden, whoever was the very first human being, God couldn't have been like, I can't get an answer. Oh, hold on. Let me finish this one thought, then I'll deal with that, Brother T. The very first humans, God couldn't have gave them a book. Here's a book, sort of like a whatever. And then you gotta wait generations, and all suddenly it pops up, and this is the only way to do things. Man, get out of here with that. Okay, now let's go to Brother T. What question? If we believe that black people once ruled the earth, ruled the world, is it safe to believe that we treated whites like they now treat us? It's not really safe to believe that, no. The only reason why I say that is because you got to look at melanated black folks as a whole. For the most part, we're loving and we're kind and we're loyal like old fucking dogs. Most black people don't have the sexual perversions that you find in other folks. Not saying that there's not black folks like on that movie Precious. Not saying they're not. But for the most part, it's not like that. Just like in Africa, right? No. Kemet, Agoon, Africa, we got to understand. Once again, you're seeing a debasement. There's not one country on this planet, Brother T, that is black run. Oh, it looks like it is, absolutely. It would appear to be managed by black folks, sure. But it's funded and propped up by colonization forces. We should know this by now. This shouldn't even really be an issue. This should be common fucking knowledge. Every country in the continent of Africa, quote unquote, is a European power puppet state. That's what it is. Every country, without exception, is a European puppet state. And you can go further to say every country on this planet, in one way, shape, or another, is a European puppet state. The only purpose for its existence is to get resources out of that land and into Europe for manufacturing purposes, or maybe just for art or wealth. Those damn Africans gave up all their they did not give them up. There's a difference. Once again, we got to understand, it's as if you have a choice. But if I'm sitting here with a gun to your head and I'm telling your babies in your house, well, you better do this, you better do that, those birds getting a hot one. You know, they're giving it up, sure, but they're doing it because they don't want to see you die. They're doing it because they don't want to die. And all that good harsh talk, oh, I would just die before. Well, then go ahead and take your full ass on and die then. Because we need people who are about living, not people who are fixated with death. Because I hate to tell you all, and you might not like this, but a dead man can't help you for shit. A dead woman cannot help you for shit. We need allies and we need help. That's why we need to get our minds right. We need to understand that there's more to this life than just what I can get materialistically. Africa should be the richest people who ever lived. Spiritually, we are. Spiritually, we are. See, your riches have to be identified. There's different types of riches. You know, hey, check this out. You know, a man or woman who's dying of HIV is HIV rich. A man or woman who's not suffering from that disease is HIV poor. Now, what do you want to be? HIV rich or HIV poor? Rich in itself is nothing. Poor in itself is nothing. It's in context to what we're talking about that makes it everything. Either you're going to be spiritually rich or you're going to be physically, earthly rich. How can you be spiritual and say dead people can't help you? When's the last time, Brother Will, you hung out with a dead person? When's the last time you walked up to a dead person and gave them a hammer and said, help me build a home? That's how they cannot help you. Now, of course, you could try to commune with your ancestors, but how do you even know you're talking to your ancestor and not a malevolent spirit that's fucking with you because you opened up your mind in such a way? Dead people cannot help you, Brother Will. Accept it. You're alive for a reason. You're alive to deal with other living folks. Unity would help that. Yes, Sister Hunt. You can't unify with the dead because they can't even give you nothing. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to be abusive or violent towards anybody. You know, Brother Will, I'm not. You know, that's just how I talk. old framer. But what I'm saying is that right now, brother Will, you're helping me with this program. Believe it or not, you're helping me with the show right now because of the energy that's in you. Once you're dead, the energy that I'm communing with, the energy that is uh, being portrayed from my voice and your typing, that would not occur if one of us were dead. You can't conversate with the dead, not in this fashion. Now, some can argue you can commune with the dead, meditate, and blah, blah, blah. But I think the dead have better things to do than worry about things that they cannot physically control on Earth, because Earth is a spiritual, it's a spiritual, not spiritual, but it is a physical experiment. We are spiritual beings in a physical experiment. And the reason why I say this, at night when you sleep, you're no longer really tied to your physical body. It's like a battery recharging for the next day, repairing itself, healing itself. And that's where we're at. We don't want to accept these things because, like Brother T's saying, how the fuck is that going to put some food on my fucking table? How the fuck is that going to change the car battery or tire or whatever? I'm saying the only thing it's meant to change is you. It's not meant to change the physical things around you, brothers and sisters. It's meant to change you. You know, that eternal thing that I'm dealing with, the eternal spirit of you. There is a spirit of Will. That is a spirit. Good morning, Big Pimpin'. Glad you can wake up and made it into the show. I think the dead moves at such a high vibration that coming back to communicate with the lives we create back on Earth is like blinking an eye. It's no energy. Okay. And I can understand why one would want to believe that, because we don't want to accept the fact that some things are outside of our grasp or some things are outside of our ability to control. But I'm here to tell you without a doubt, Will, when a man or woman is dead, they are truly dead. They are not in that body. That body is just, for all intents and purposes, mud at that point. It's just a lump of dirt, dust that will biodegrade into to dust. Do you agree we only use 10% of our brains? No. I believe some of us don't even use any of our brains. I believe our body uses 100% of our mental capacity. The ability to breathe, regulate your blood sugar, regulate all the other uh, elements in your body. That requires thought. That requires energy. The spirit that was in that body. Think of how you felt 10 years before you were birthed. That's death. Wow. Now, Bird is really bringing the heat. What I'm saying is the spirit, Bird, the spirit Will, the spirit Big Pimpin' is eternal, meaning that you had no beginning nor end. Oh, well, what? Yeah. Your life, however, on earth has a beginning and it has a definite end, or will have a conclusion at one day. And whatever is blocking your mind from understanding or comprehending the time prior to this life, I think that's where dreams come in. In other words, you can call it simulation or collective dream. What if when you dream, you're truly living, and when you're awake, you're truly asleep? But you're sharing a collective dream with all the other people that you're perceiving are people. And at the end of the day, and this is really, really messed up, how do you even know there's other people here? How do you know that you're some sort of self-deceived entity that's putting this shit all together, because you yourself are quite literally dying right now, and this is the last hoorah before you check out of this total plane of existence. Or the reverse of that. How do we not know that this earth is nothing more than a huge cosmic ball or nutsack, and we're all just little sperms waiting to be ejected into the universe, and that is your death? Because how many people die every day, and how many sperms are released in, an ejaculation? I bet you those numbers are probably similar. And how possibly would a sperm have any concept of the life outside the planet? In other words, before you were conceived, you was half an egg and half a sperm, correct? When you're a sperm wiggling around, I'm sure there's some thought, because there's movement. Where there's movement, there has to be thought to manipulate the muscles. I'm talking about in a biological sense. Of course, in a mechanical sense, there's still thought, because there had to be thought to make the mechanical device. So even there is still right. That sperm would have no conception of skyscrapers. It would have no conception of the sun, the moon, the stars, but yet it's still in this realm of existence. Enough people on the earth ain't enough people on the earth to die off that fast. The typical ejaculation only has something like a couple 100,000 sperm. There's 7 billion people, so a couple 100,000 people dying a day. Well, let's just see. Let's just ask Google a real question, something that it may even have an answer. How many people die on the earth every day? Oh my gosh, come on. How many people die on the earth every day? So let's just use this, and let's pull up the calculator so we can show you all how to figure this stupid shit out. Let's say there's 8 deaths per 1,000 people every day. All right, so that's the baseline. 8 deaths per 1,000, right? There's 1,000,000 and 1,000,000 times 1,000, right? That's just 1,000,000 people, right? So per every 1,000,000 people, you might as well say there's 8,000 dead. All right, so there's a 1,000 millions to equal 1,000,000 times 1,000, right, equals 1,000,000,000. So now we're talking about 800 and something thousand people. 500 million sperms per shot. No. Hold on. How many sperms are ejaculated in an orgasm? What? 550 something billion? All right, well, my bad. Well, I concede that to Will. Hey, I'm not perfect. I didn't sit here and say I was freaking omnipotent. I just thought it might have been a curious. Yeah, you're absolutely right. We're not losing no 500. There's not even 500 billion people on the earth. Oh my God. Wow. I thought it was only a few 100,000. I didn't know it was so high. That's crazy, man, when you think about it. I mean, if we talked enough, you would see I'm smarter than you think. Oh, it's fine, T. I'm sure you're smarter than me. You know, that's fine. I'm humble like that. I'm not up here saying I'm the smartest egg in the place. We just make it into the egg was a miracle. Yes, it was true. But when you think about it, look how many people potentially died. There's like 500 something billion. Thank you. Thank you. Then you think. Wait, if we talk, you would see. Uh, 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 you know, this is what I want to say. That it is a miracle that today I never said I was smarter than you. Oh, my bad. Well, you know, listen, T. I'm sure in a lot of areas you're absolutely smarter than me, and then vice versa. You know what I mean? And it's natural. It's cool. What I always say is every every human being who's on this earth right now, and I guess if you want to look at it like this, aren't we all kind of guilty of murder at conception? I mean, if I have that many brothers and potential sisters, 500,000,000, that could be literally me, who I am right now. If I would have just taken a break as in my sperm mode, just taking a break. No, man, I just want to take a breather and just chill out and kind of look at the, vaginal walls and see what's going on. Not paying attention to the end game. I would not be here in this particular form. Neither would you. So we gotta realize the savagery of life and death is at birth. It's quite literally, we all come from the same, or not all of us. Obviously, we don't all have the same fathers, but we all came from the same process for the most part. Even if you're one of those two babies, introvertus babies, the sperm was the sperm was not developed outside the body. The sperm was developed in somebody's body. Now they could have whacked off in a cup, and then they used a needle to slurp you up and shoot you into the egg from there. But you still came from the same place as T, as Bird, as the rest of them. All I'm saying is, are we still not on the same trajectory? Like, think about it. We all competed as sperms, and there could only be one. And that one is you, whoever you are. Now we're out here on the planet, and we're still competing. Once again, sperm plus egg equals you. 1 plus 1 equals you. Unless you're some sort of mutant twin, then it equals 2. Or a mutant triplet, then it equals 3. We have to remember a lot of the concepts that we use to navigate the world we live in, to navigate this life, is debased. It's lies designed to keep you in a state of anomie, going around in circles, while other people who don't believe in that bullshit can operate and get all the resources. We are mammals, no different from other mammals. That's not necessarily true, Bird. In a sense, yes. We are all mammals. All mammals starts off as bird or as eggs and sperm, but not all mammals have the same potential, and that's the truth. A lot of the potential that you see and that you're doing is because of the fact that you you are different. You're different than a dog. You're different than a cat. You're different than a great ape. You're different than a seal or a whale. Not only physiologically, but spiritually and psychologically. That's why you're in this form. That's why we see differences in birds and reptiles and everything else. Because everything's resonating on a different wavelength. That's the difference in itself, right there. Now, am I saying that we have the right to go and exploit and abuse our fellow animals? No, we shouldn't. I believe for the most part, we really should all be vegetarians. We shouldn't be eating the bloody flesh and starch and all that blood and shit. We really shouldn't. I think we should be higher, more advanced than that. just a little more advanced. A dog is not thinking about afterlife, or do they? I would not know. I'm not even going to lie. I don't know what dogs think about. I know if you think about this, if you reverse D-O-G, it spells God. I know that. I know that the afterlife can't really be that bad. You know how I know? How many people came back from it and stayed for any significant period of time? You see, we got 2 points to our existence, Bert. Point one, either you serve and obey, or point two, you don't. We are in the Matrix today. We have been giving a tribute to John Singleton, yet that was your favorite movie of his. Life is a big mystery. Nobody has died and come back. No, I'm not saying nobody has died and go back, because for one, there'd be a shit ton of medical people. We have this on report. This guy died clinically brain dead. He died for 3 months, came back, blah blah blah. No, I ain't talking about no shit like that. Yeah, nobody has died and come back. I'm talking about a motherfucker dead for fucking 2 years. Let a motherfucker be in the ground dead for 2 years and the motherfucker come back. I ain't talking about a motherfucker coming back 8 hours, or actually most of them come back within 45 minutes of their so-called clinical death. I'm talking about real death. I'm talking about a motherfucker is straight up dead. Ain't nobody coming back. Ain't not a one person's come back and straight up knocked on the door. The door has to close at some time. Who opened the door to begin with? I mean, I'm just asking, who opened the door to begin with? How long is it open? I mean, if we're talking about the door of life, it's open from the moment you were conceived to the moment you die. And the door was opened by your parents, the ones who came before you, and the ones who came before them. But then we ultimately get to the point, the first human being who opened the door up for that person, and that is God, the Creator. It's not that complicated. It truly isn't. But we make it complicated. You know why? Because complication's fun. Complication allows for people to become kings and queens and doctors and lawyers, masters and slave, straw boss and field hand. But it does nothing to free your soul. It does nothing. No, okay. I believe in the ancestors, obviously, because I'm here today and I know through them is how I got here. But I'm telling you right now, Sister Hunt, most of the time that people think that they're communing with ancestral spirits, they are only communing with other spirits that are probably not even human spirits, but they are aware of you. In other words, Sister Hunt, before you was even born, before your mama was even born, or her mama, or her mama, or her mama, or their dad, or dad, or dad, any of those people, there were things lurking around here, and they're still here with us now. It's just that there's a veil between most of us and them. I'm telling you, as I sit here right now, when you get up out of here, Sister Hunt, you ain't going to think of this earth. This earth will have no more concern to you than your mom's uterus or your dad's genitals. Because that used to be your homeland. My dad's genitals and my mom's uterus used to be my homeland for 8 months when I was being developed on this planet. It was my whole world, quite literally my whole world. But as I was born, when I came out of the vagina, I had no more use for that. I had no more concern for that. That's what I'm talking about as far as ancestral spirits. That's what I'm meaning. If that makes sense. That's like the only analogy I can try to use in the English language to try to really articulate what I'm trying to say here. We got to see that, for the most part, your ancestors are you. If reincarnation, let me ask you this, Sister Hunt. Sister Hunt, if reincarnation was real, or you might believe it's real, you might not, who knows? But do you think that you would only be reincarnated through your bloodline, meaning one of your children or their children? Or do you think you could jump from race to race, sex to sex? How would that work? Prove to me it is such a thing as a spirit that might not be true. I can prove to you nothing. Actually, I can't even prove to you nothing, because in order to try to prove nothing, I would have to use something. And how can something adequately describe nothing? Wait, that's what Marcus Garvey meant when he said, "Look for me in the whirlwind." Wow. Wow. You see, I do have a lot of respect and love for the ancestors. I want to go on the record and say that. I want everyone to be crystal clear on that. I have a lot of respect and love for all that the ancestors went through. Not just recently. I ain't talking about the slave shit. I'm talking about way before that. All the arguments and quarrels they had, but they were able to not kill off the whole damn planet and get us to the point that we are today. But I'm telling you right now, Sister Hunt, Bird, and everybody else, looking towards the past to try to get a brighter future is not the way to go. It hasn't worked this far, and it won't ever work. You think of all the great ancestors, all the great inventors, all the great thinkers. I'm telling you, you have access to the same library, universal library. If you open up your mind and change your perception for the most part and see the world as it truly is. All those visions and feelings are central nervous system. Once you're gone, the chakra and akra. Okay, and spirit is organized, religion's lie. How can you say, if you try to talk back to spirits, you're talking to a fraud and it's not a spirit? Have you ever heard of schizophrenia? I mean, there are some people out there, I hate to say it, but there are some people out there that are just truly batshit crazy. They're hearing voices like we're hearing, this broadcast. We lost that gift and the power to use ancestral spirits, but want us to be scared. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It's that fear. Listen, fear is the killer of the mind. It kills your mind. It kills your spirit to want to strive. Sister Hunt, what would it look like if I'm sitting there? Oh my God, sister, I'm so scared of this broadcast. I'm fearful. I'm so fearful of this broadcast. I wouldn't do it. And I would lose this gift of the broadcast. Anything you're scared of, or if you're scared of fire, that's normal. You're scared of falling. That's normal. But some of the stuff we're scared of doesn't even exist. Seriously. Some of the stuff you are scared of does not exist. How many times, those of you who have little babies out there, how many times have your child, let's say they're around the age of 8 to about like 12 or so, they watch a scary movie, a horror flick or whatever, and they're up all night just eating, chewing their fingernails, scared out of their mind. They're literally scared over nothing. They're quite literally scared in reality out of fear of the unknown. Some of us adults do the exact same thing. We got ourselves in such a fear. Okay, for those of you who are familiar with Christian doctrine, especially the old time religion, white Jesus, if let's say that the preacher man came to you and said, there's no such thing as heaven, no such thing as hell, no such thing as the devil, and no such thing as white Jesus or God. And he laid out this beautiful sermon. How many people will show up the next Sunday? If you don't have to worry about going to hell, you don't have to worry about the devil coming and getting you, demons dragging you off to the pit, how many people will show up the next Sunday? See, we always got to understand, you know, the lies. And the lies are in the presentation. If I was to sit here and tell you, brothers and sisters, hey, all you got to do is, I say, life is given unto you freely. All you got to do is believe. That's a lie. That's a lie. Break down the sentence. If something's given to you freely, then you have to do nothing. You don't even have to accept it. You either use it or don't. But there's nothing free down here. You know, I had to talk with a good friend the other day. You know, we were talking about like the tenets of Christianity. You know, like he was like, you know, what saves? What saves? And, you know, people say you got to believe. But, you know, then they'll say that he died for all the sins. I'm talking about Jesus. He died for all of the sins. So when he died for the sins of homosexuality, when he died for the sins of not knowing him, when he died the sins of not accepting the Holy Ghost, when he died all those sins. But if you talk to others, they'll say, if you deny the Holy Ghost, then you're doomed forever. So apparently there are sins that he doesn't cover. You see how it starts falling apart once you start thinking it through. I'm not saying we don't need spiritual guidance. I'm not saying that at all. Some needs more than others. I'm saying that the religions that are supposed to be your spiritual guides are sending you down the road to oblivion. Now, you could hate me for saying that. You could be like, true, that was uncalled for. That's really mean-spirited or whatever. But it's simply the truth. There has been not one religion that has actually brought peace to this planet. Not one. Not one religion system has ever brought peace to this planet. And they've been around for a few thousand years now, folks. So there's been plenty of time to give me one example where religion has truly brought peace to the planet. In fact, one can argue what truly brings peace is when people draw back from their little religious ideology and they start compromising with each other to work together in a common cause and purpose type way to really facilitate something where life can nurture, meaning a proper environment. The people way back then didn't know either that they were dealing with a big mystery also. See, I'm not even going to go there, Bird. I don't know what the people in the past really knew. I never talked to none of them. I can tell you the people in the present don't have a fucking clue. The people in the present are lost. The people in the present are filled with anger, hatred, and anxiety. I can tell you that much. I can tell you the only way to solve those problems is for the people in the present, people who are live today, right now. If they change their perspective, change their heart, and unite with each other, then we can be free. Then we can get a shot to take back this planet. But until that happens, and I'll say this until the day it happens, yeah. Melanated folks, you're marked for death. Melanated folks, we are despised by all. Kinky haired, dark skinned people, you are a scourge to the rest of the people. That's what they believe. You have to read Slave Bible yet. You haven't, have you read? No, not yet. Not yet, sister. Why though? Alexandria. It goes back to one of the 48 laws of power, dear. Whenever you can't have anything, you despise it. They can never have our melanization. They can never have our kinky hair. And they can never really have our place in the universe. So they despise us. Yeah, you can have your little tanks, your stupid little skyscrapers, your economic systems. But when you get up out of here, none of that matters. What we have totally matters. Spiritual power totally matters. That's why. And this doesn't go to no Jewish, chosen people, blah, blah, blah. No. We were the first people on the earth. The Bible tells you that. In the beginning, the earth was black. Not, it wasn't black because there wasn't light. It was black because that was the only race here, was black folks. Period. And everybody else came by the way they came. Are we all essentially humans? Yes. But some have different ancestors. Do we all have the original ancestors? Yes. But just like any family, so you break up. Oh, I'm only going to kick it with uncle and aunt and brother. Oh, I'm only going to kick it with grandma, grandpa, and sister. Oh, I'm only going to kick it with mom and dad. All families are like this. They're dysfunctional. Relationships change. Positions in the family goes up and down. And I hate to say this, or you may hate to hear this, but we are all part of the human family, no matter what branch you may be chilling on. And that's why I was asking about the reincarnation question. Can you only be reincarnated through your particular bloodline, or can you be reincarnated in any bloodline throughout the whole human family empire? And those questions will be questions that only you can answer in your walk and in your life, because your life is radically different. Sister Hunt's life is different than Sister Alexandria. They hate us because they know our history better than we do. We ruled and helped civilize them. Well, we did a piss poor job, Sister Hunt. We did a piss poor job of civilizing these fucking savages, because they're acting very uncivil towards us. Murdering, raping, poisoning the minds with horrible music. Every opportunity trying to abuse us. If the cameras aren't around, definitely abusing and lying on us. Got us thinking, sister, that we're just a bunch of fucking lazy bastards and whores and drug addicts and whoremongers. Got us thinking that all we need is what's that? Trump box, Section 8, and some chick with 4 or 5 kids prior to you even showing up. And not only that, let's be honest, if they're all like that, you can't even be up there in the house with the woman and the babies, because Section 8 don't play that. They never want us to rule again. Of course they don't. And, you know, when we look at stories about Aku, the ancient scientist, how he basically killed off all the melanated babies darker babies to create the Edomite and blah, blah, blah. It's really sad. It's really sad that this type of hatred and fear has to persist into this day. Alexandria, I think there is a shift happening. Black folks are starting to rise up. Well, it's a little too late though, sweetie, because of the fact that we are ununified. We may be rising up. Oh man, I'm this and that. But by the time you rise up, you realize, oh my God, this brother died of AIDS. This brother died of a gunshot. This brother killed himself. This brother went to the military and died. Oh, and by the way, You know, and this is for all the folks that always wants to beat the drum beat about the father in the house and that. Now, it is important that the father and mother are together, and more important that they love and like each other. We have to understand that our house is not like that. By design, our house is to where if Sister Hunt, Sister Alexandria, Bird, or anybody else, T Will, is trying to make an escape, one of us needs to go and snitch them out. And then we get an extra plate of food. That's the way our house, that's the way we have been indoctrinated. Until we change that situation. Hey, what's up, Shogun? Welcome to the show. Glad you made it. Until we change that situation. Oh, good morning, baby. You okay? Yeah, you can go, Mama Dad's friend. If you can get in there. The thing about it, yo, and I gotta get ready. I gotta get ready to leave. I gotta go and do some drywall. I will be doing another show sometime this afternoon. Uh, showing more mudding and taping, and hopefully help some folks out here make some money. Because I'm all about sharing knowledge, tangible knowledge and spiritual knowledge. You know, I mean, Will or T Will, if you need to know how to make a couple extra bucks, watch my drywall video. Ain't no quick fix to all that drink. Wow, Bird, that is so true. I wish people would get what you just said there. There ain't no quick fix for all that brain damage. There's not. The only thing that can fix this is love and patience. Love and patience. And both takes a lot of time to acquire. Both takes a lot of time to home in. And unfortunately, y'all, we don't have the time. We don't. I sincerely hope I'm wrong. Sincerely, I hope maybe I'm crazy and I'm fabricating all this up in my little mind because I can't deal with the bigger picture. Oh, I hope it is. When I'm telling you that there's entities out here that are just waiting for the day is green lighted to pick your ass up and murder you. I don't know what else to say at this point. I really don't. I'm not saying this to evoke fear either, because fear is not the response that we need. We need clarity of purpose and we need unity to defeat what I'm talking about. You can't do it alone. They'll just pick us off individually. I know each and every one of us are badasses in our own right. Sister Hunt, what you've been through down here, you're a badass. Bird, you're a badass. You've been through some shit down here on Earth. Shogun, you're a badass. You have been through some shit down here on this Earth. All of you. You're all badasses, tough motherfuckers in your own right. Each and every last one of you are not to be trifled with. But we have to put all of our badassness to the side and learn somehow how to work together and come together strong in unity. Not just piecemeal, not just half-ass, not just, oh, I'm just going to link up with Shogun just so I can get something out of it. No. I'm talking about with sincerity and honesty. If we can get to that point, then, Brother Leonard, now we're talking about something. Now we're talking about we can implement some changes. But until we get to that basic point, that first step, I don't care how great your plan is. You could be Dr. Umar Jackson or whoever. I don't care. Until we get to that unified point, it's all for nothing because all your work will be washed away in 1-2 generations at top once you're dead. 1-2 generations at top once you're dead without true unification across the board. All the work that you have done will be undone if it doesn't go along with the system's plan. And once we figure that one out, folks, then we'll have a shot. Well, with that being said, y'all, I have to take off here and get ready. Load up all my little tools and go and make some money. Today's date is May 2nd, 2019, the year of our Lord. This has been TPIM SR Live. Taped in front of a sleeping studio audience today. That's why we didn't hear no. It was really quite refreshing. As always, live your life with integrity, without hate, envy, or greed, and let's try to be kinder to each other. Peace, and thank you all, your greatest fan base in the world.